Hello, we are Team 18. Today we are addressing a critical challenge for Uniqlo global expansion: how to maintain high standards while adapting to local culture. Uniqlo is a fast fashion retailer with ambition to become the number one brand worldwide by scaling lifewear with consistent operational standards and a leadership philosophy that asks every employee to think and act like a leader. Sounds straightforward until local culture change how people read everyday actions. At one Australian store, leader A top-down style, blunt criticism, and unilateral decision clash with local expectation and undermine engagement. A single 30 minutes overtime request to finish a closing task expose the problem. From leader A perspective, it was routine, a visible sign of dedication and quality control. The local team read it very differently, an unnecessary intrusion on personal time and evidence of poor work planning. What started as a disagreement about process quickly turned personal, a process conflict escalate into relationship conflict. Staff feel disrespect, moral fail, and people stop speaking up. Why does this happen? Cultural values matter. Japanese norms emphasize group loyalty and long-term commitment, while Australian norms prize autonomy and work-life balance. Combating this, leader use a high-task, top-down approach, telling rather than initiating, while the team needs explanation, participation, and trust. Thus, mismatch reduce intrinsic motivation and put Uniqlo's customer service standards at risk. This isn't an isolated store issue. Left unaddressed, it risks higher turnover, poorer service, and reputational damage.
Micromanagement is a leadership style where leaders tend to control the employees' work and decision making, often to the detriment of moral and productivities. And later in this case study is clearly illustrated for the characteristic of micromanagers. First, he is rigid and over control oriented. There are two types of powers: position power and personal power. Leader A has positional power but is too opposite, so he leadership lack empowerment and flexibilities, such as not agreeing to let employee rearrange clothes during the store quiet time, but asking them to stay more 30 minutes to finish the job. That is not servant leadership. As for personal power, leader A can be considered as an expert of the brand, but he lacks referent power, making employees bored when working with him at the retail. Although is described as a highly skilled person, leader A is not considered a good leader because of ineffective leadership. Second, the problem of leader A's micromanagement also have unethical leadership, which is expressed through the fact that leader A always closely monitor employees and often correct minor mistakes, even in front of others. This has made employees become self-conscious, disappointed in their work, and leading to decreased productivities, and employees no longer take initiative to do other tasks. This shows leader A fail in psychological empowerment. As a result, the relationship between leader and employees become tenses, weaken relationship conflict, and at the same time, it also clashes with Uniqlo philosophy, why Uniqlo want employees to think and act like a leader at every level, but in reality, they are becoming more self-conscious, passive, and psychological pressure. The combination of two factors makes employees who are followers feel low belongingness and lower uniqueness. Based on the short theories, this is inclusive leadership, and from there the question raised: how can leadership have inclusive leadership while limiting weakness and promoting existing strength?
We can see three programs. The first one is global cultural trainings, build understanding, but it's isolations and lack of leadership focus. The second one is a leadership development, explain the why, and as flexibility just is depend too much on the emotion intelligence and risk micromanagements. And the last one is engagement survey, emphasize communications and lack real-time feedback. Comparing to H&M programs, the unique opportunity to organize and explain leadership and drive real-time cross-culture engagements. Later, a micromanagement turn quality check into the mistrust. A staff will feel moderate fails and they stop speak up. The core issue is eroded. The psychology safety. So how we can fix the culture of the control without lowering the standard? The answer is practice. A little culture swap days, a program that turn cultural insight into everyday leadership behaviors. Theme one is a short workshop. A local mentor would coach the leader in the Australian workplace values, communications, and decision habits. So the pattern of case study and a short road time that the leader learned to listen first and explain later, to recognize when the process is necessary and when to flexibility expect results that make the culture different, visible, and actionable. The themes too we have is a swamp days. Every second Friday, the leader apply what they learn on the workshop. They develop a solve the tone, clarify roles, and find improved and reduce talent gap. The combination use the coach use a quick coaching load so the feedback can become respectful. Coaching is not the public ones. To keep it simple, we use the trees no and two yes rule. The red tab remains like not notice tables, and the win task is outcome with the focus and the flexibility modified by a short KPI checklist. By practice inclusive behavior reviews the psychology, safety, and powers the staff within ultimately and see the impact. The It's give the leader experience practice so we can shape without telling by participations, reduce the ego to control without why practice the quality, the result is result you choose within standard and the leader can obtain and scale across the market.
Leader A's problem is over reliance on coercive and legitimate power, which creates micromanagement. Our goal is to help Leader A use the right kind of power to maintain Uniqlo's high standards while empowering employees. Leader A should rely on referent power based on respect and expert power based on knowledge. This fits Uniqlo's culture where leaders are trusted for expertise. By applying leading through theory, employees will trust leaders more, especially when leadership is grounded in soul, a moral duty to uplift others, heart, which shows a genuine care for people, and mind, which means collaboration to solve critical problems. Here is how it works. Employees share issues anonymously through the problem lab. The HR then summarizes this weekly and raises the four most urgent to the leader. Solutions are explained to the employees and implemented, then tracked with the soul, heart, mind scorecard where employees give feedback. Now let's look at the benefits. First, the Problem Lab gives employees a safe channel for input aligning with psychological safety and servant leadership theory. This reduces reliance on micromanagement because employees feel trusted. Second, framing solutions through soul, heart, mind ties, task to purpose, reflecting transformational leadership theory, which inspire and show genuine care. This makes work meaningful, lowering the need for strict control. Third, the scorecard tracks recognition and satisfaction, giving staff autonomy and accountability. This reflects psychological empowerment theory and Woolman and Deal's human resource frame, emphasizing meaning over rules. Finally, shifting to leading through reduces conflict. Here, authentic leadership highlights transparency and care, while inclusive leadership promotes fairness and participation. Together, they reduce power, distance, and strengthen relationships. Overall, this creates a continuous systematic feedback loop, strengthening trust and reduces micromanagement while staying true to Uniqlo's philosophy.
So, Uniqlo expansion in Australia faces two challenges: the cultural gaps between Japanese and Australian work values, and micromanagement from rigid leadership styles. So, our a smart objective is to build an empowerment culture by 6 months, reducing micromanagement, reaching 80% KPI completion within working hours, and 60% employee survey scores feeling valued and safe. We will set two short-term goals. By month 3, pilot the cultural swap days in 3 stores with 70% of leaders applying the 3 don't and 2 do framework and collect feedback from 80% of employees. By month 4, train 100% of managers in intercultural leadership and activate the HR problem lab to resolve 4 issues bi-weekly. The plan has 4 phases, as you can see here. The first one is kickoff. Training October to November with workshops, HR problem lab, or pilot prep. The second phase is pilot and practice from November to December, expansion and power shift in January, and lastly, the evaluation from February to March. So these solutions we believe are feasible because they use the Uniqlo's existing structures, require low cost, which can be faced in smoothly, and they are suitable because they uphold the global challenges while also empower the employees, this will build a sustainable empowerment culture. So, in short, this approach helps Uniqlo maintain high quality while also empower the staff, the right path for successful expansion in Australia. Thank you for listening.